Hello, everyone. You're listening to The Mean Geek, episode 185.
Or 6.
Or 6. I'm saying it's 5, though. But okay. Whatever, you know.
It's an episode.
Take 2. So
take 2 episodes. They're small.
We're not going to lie. Last take sucked. 7 minutes of nothing.
We're
watching The Return of the Incredible Hulk.
We burnt an episode to the ground, bitches.
Down to the ground.
We raised that shit and we're rising from it from the ashes like a shit-covered phoenix.
Not named Fox. Oh, dude, this movie is... wow.
Now, my question is, do we go directly from this into the trial of the Incredible Hulk, or do we pull... is one Hulk movie enough in a single evening?
How long is this? 90 minutes?
I imagine that it's...
we're probably going to need a third take that we failed because
this is 93 minutes long.
93 minutes. We might be able to make it. It's only just 8.
Well, I have other options, so I can do something different.
No, I'm not letting you pick something else. We'll just keep going. It's DC week, and that means insanity.
It also means a long break in between DC weeks.
Yes, because I have made the moral and ethical decision to take the financial high road, put my money where my mouth is, and not fucking buy gimmick books I don't want from DC. So, I didn't order the bastards. I'm not buying them.
Incredible Hulk Returns, 1988. How fuck do you
good am I, baby?
I'm not sure that qualifies as good.
Hey, you couldn't remember, and you worked at Blockbuster for 90 years.
This was not available back then.
It was on tape.
I never saw it, but, you know.
Well, of course you wouldn't have. You were like, I'm a fucking auteur now that I have access to every movie ever fucking made. And yes, Adam Sandler is on the wall, and we do have a copy. Would you rather have Benigni?
I like Roberto Benigni.
I know you do.
Or at least I used to, you know, back before he got all popular.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wipe off them skinny jeans, buddy.
Yes, because I'm so hip for a hipster.
Dude, you're a far hipper. Don't show me Howard. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Show me Howard the Duck.
That's what I'm saying. We can do that now.
We can do that next. We can start that next. I saw it once on videotape in the 80s.
It was awful.
It'll be like a new discovery, and we see it in new ways. We might have fun with it this time. When was the last time you saw it?
When it came out, I did not see it in the theater. I actually came to Howard. I had a few comics, but I was not paying fucking money to see Howard the Duck. Like, no, we went to the movies like south of never, and I'm actually shocked you didn't see it in the theater because you and Dan the Man used to go almost weekly.
Yeah, for a long time it was weekly, but no, that was like 87, right? 86. Quickly.
I'm looking. Give me a moment here. The last one didn't list it. I don't know why you'd think this would. No, this had to come out after this.
No, it wasn't like 89. No way.
86. Good God.
See,
what the hell is wrong with you?
I think you're asking what's right with me.
No, because I know it's nothing. Like, you literally, off the top of your head, remembered the date for both an Incredible Hulk TV movie and Howard the Duck's theater release, both of which are movies that you've seen once and didn't like.
You got to remember,
you're awful.
The second half of the 80s was really good to me.
How?
How wasn't it? We got out of fucking Detroit.
Oh,
I met you.
That was not a positive for either of us.
Hey,
we did not get along for a good walk.
Well,
one of the untalked about factors.
We didn't get a running start. We'll say that
we were not. But although me and the Tech Jedi, and to be fair, like in all honesty, is my closest friend. Will always be my closest friend. But for a good 5 to 6 years, we were not even friends. Like we hung with the same people, and we grudgingly accepted each other. And that's the best description therein. Like, I've known him forever, but for 5 years I wanted to murder him in his sleep.
No, I never hated you.
No, hate's the wrong word.
At most, I was like, oh, Bill's here.
Yeah, we were never friendly remotely. It wasn't until you joined the service that we got along. And when you came back, and suddenly it's like, everyone else is gone, and you're a lot cooler than I thought you were, or I'm a lot less cool than I thought I was. Either way.
No, the second half of the 80s were good to me. I had a job. I had a place to live. I wasn't fucking homeless. I had pals. I had disposable income. I had discovered comics. I discovered booze.
All key factors.
Yep. All wondrous things that still happen now.
I didn't discover booze till 91. Till my graduating year of high school was the first time I had a beer.
Well, that's because you're a late bloomer.
It's a terrible plan. It's
Matter
a
of fact,
terrible
your
plan.
pedals still haven't opened up.
No, I'm very pedalless. I'll give you that. I am one big fucking shrub in comparison. No flowers on me. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, really? Just because it's DC week, we gotta do this kind of shit?
We have to waste time, man. We want to fill out an hour with 11 books, 3 of which are going to be like, I hate this book. Next.
Yeah, really, it's like, I feel bad for people who listen to this podcast. All 4 of you. Like, it's sitting there like, oh, well, so then the Rev was referring to himself as a shrub, which of course has deeper. No, it fucking doesn't. It just, I'm trying to kill time. Like, that's what that comes down to. I am not a shrubbery. All right, I can't say that any plainer, any clearer. Shrubbery! There it is. There we go. Now Monty Python references. We've hit a new low.
Hey, that's common. That's not necessarily low.
It's low now. I love Monty Python, but when you don't, you cannot tell me from the bottom of your heart Python is not cooler when somebody isn't repeating it next to you while you're watching it.
Say that again?
There's some lovely filth down here, Dennis. It's just not something I need fucking screamed in my ear when I'm watching a movie. Well, Monty Python is much better when you're just enjoying it and somebody else isn't quoting the lines next to you.
Sure. That's true. But we're not watching it. So
true.
It's okay
we're watching this lump of horse shit.
It's fine to quote when you're not watching it.
Dude, is this Lou Ferrigno's pinnacle?
Occasionally. Is it his what?
Is this his pinnacle career?
Oh, pinnacle.
Why, what do you think I said?
I swore to fuck you said pickle, and I'm like, I'm not looking at it as pickle, man.
That's not
even a goddamn joke. I thought you said pickle.
That's a very different Hulk movie.
That's what I'm saying. Not one
sadly, they now make that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, they do. Doesn't it? Axel Foley or whatever the fuck that guy's.
I have no idea.
Now, of course you don't. I know this stuff. I'm a different person. Where were we? DC week.
Yeah. And how much time?
That was 7 whole minutes.
Aha, woohoo! Well, it's much better than the 7 minutes we burnt to the ground. So enjoy that.
That needed to die.
So, all right, what's the first book? God,
the first book is Detective 34.
Ah, fuck this book.
So yeah, at the end of 33, we were treated to Bats and Bullock about to throw down, but now, in the opening pages of this one, there's an explosion that stops them from doing that, and they realize, whoa, wait, we better team up, man. What are you talking about? We have to save people. So they truce like they should. Now, this Annie character, who was set up in the previous issue again to kill the killer of her mother, actually literally pulls the trigger on that.
Yeah.
Which was kind of disappointing, because I did not expect that. You know, usually when they put characters in those situations, they're like, of course I can't kill him. What are you talking about?
Well, it's not even the real killer. The father, the biker, is the real killer. Yeah, like everyone is. The thing is, there's a new creative team. This is only the 2nd issue, and they are taking a darker, more mystery-based story. It's also the team from Flash, which we hated the first Flash storyline immensely.
Yeah, and we could be wrong afterwards, but
it got decent press. But like, I wasn't going back. But anyway, so they're redeveloping the character, and this does have more of a mystery feel. There's not really a pure mystery. There's not a lot of detecting, and you know, if I'm supposed to believe that Harvey Bullock, fucking police academy boxer, is going to be able to spar with Batman, no. Like 1,000 times. If the KG Beast got his ass kicked, then Harvey, goddamn, I had too many sausages for lunch. And yes, I said sausage is not going to fucking take down Batman.
No, he isn't. And that's the terrible beauty of it. What? Yeah. No, that's the terribleness of it.
So,
look at those lustrous gold locks on Thor.
No, I'm not looking at that. Yeah, there's potential to build this book up. Like, I feel like the Bat books are just, they suffer from too much going on and none of it being particularly good.
Yeah.
Like, there are villains and storylines. It's not that hard to write a Bat book. Like, I don't understand. how the new 52 doesn't comprehend that all you have to do is have a fucking 3-issue arc where a villain shows up, Batman figures it out in the second issue, and spends the third issue kicking him in the face. Like, boom, boom, boom,
it's
and
not
done.
a big fucking deal. It really isn't. You just throw him on the streets, and, whatever comes his way, he beats up. It's not
like, they're not even taking advantage. Like, his son is dead, and he's less bitter than if he had a crappy bagel.
Well, now he is.
That was very short. Like, that whole Joker storyline, he was very bitter. I'll give you that. But there's no, it's all gone. It's been, whitewashed. Think of how grumpy he was after Jason Todd, for how long that went on.
I was kind of happy with the fact that it faded fast, because I didn't like that at all.
No, I get that, but at the same, there's no depth to Batman.
But there's no reverberations.
There's literally no depth to the character. Bruce Wayne and Batman, when you think about your strong Batman arcs, people are telling a story about the character of both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Batman is not a character. Bruce Wayne is a character who dresses up like a bat and runs around. You cannot ignore Bruce Wayne and having to be a happy-go-lucky fucking five-son he's basically goddamn... Alright, Commodore Wife. What is the name of the guy from My Three Sons? Fred McMurray.
Oh. Bruce Wayne is Fred McMurray?
Isn't he? He's got 13 different happy-go-lucky sons. Instead of Uncle Fred, he's got Alfred the Butler. Same name, really.
Holy crap. So the squid is still in this issue.
Oh, dude, what is the fucking...
I don't understand the existence
I hate the
of
biker,
squid.
I hate the squid, I hate the grumpy teenage girl. There's 32 fucking irritable teenagers floating around. I do not need another one. At all. Sorry your mom died, miss, but you know what? No.
Bring
no
back
more.
Happy Harper. There was nothing wrong with Harper. She's a happy kid. She just wants to go have adventures and be Batman's fucking electrical goddess.
Just give me one Robin. Nightwing, freaking Robin, Starling, Spoiler, Red Hood. No one should have this many sidekicks.
It's sidekick over fucking kill. It really is.
Is that all of them, or are there more?
You listed all the alternate Robins.
You've got
Cassie Cain.
There's Robin, Red Robin. Yes, they've already hinted at yet another Robin down the line and brought that character into play.
Nah, there's too much going on. Anarchy's making a comeback, though. I can't wait for that.
I knew you liked Anarchy.
I'm lying my ass off. You come on, man. I remember when he came around, I'm like, really? You got a 12-year-old who thinks the government shouldn't exist? Remember that? The guy hasn't, at his first,
Anything.
Yeah,
no, I don't. The whole Anarchy character was really annoying. It was like a crappy version of Marvel's Madcap, and that's not a character. For those of you who don't know, Madcap was an insane character who could somehow heal bullet wounds. I don't know if they ever really went into depth as to what the fucking point of that dude was.
No, there was no point. It is just look, we need a character that can do ludicrous things for ludicrous reasons. So...
I'm crazy dangerous. No.
The contents of this issue do not amaze me. They barely pique any kind of interest for me.
I was excited that you didn't have a supervillain. I was excited that you didn't have Man-Bat.
It is nice that they're back at street level for the moment. That's absolutely true. I'm with you on that.
So I think that, they have an idea of what could work in Detective, so I'm not totally negating the book. It's just at this point, Batman has become a law of diminishing returns.
Right. The more effort we put into it, the less we're rewarded. So,
dude, am I watching a Thor drunken bacchanal in 1988 time?
In a country bar. Yes, you totally are.
Oh, good.
With Don Blake being...
Sam Blake.
I don't know where Sam came from.
You know
There's
what?
never been a Sam Blake.
I'm surprised they didn't change the friggin' name. Donald doesn't really sell in today's market. Sam Blake sounds more preferable.
Uh-oh. And somebody tries to horn in on the two.
Don't punch the Thor.
Never punch the Thor, which is such a horrible sentence. Let me go to the bathroom real quick. Look at this fucking guy. Isn't he like the 80s most common asshole?
That guy's been in a lot of film.
And he's always been an asshole in it. When hasn't he been a jerk?
You know what's interesting is how did Iron Man escape all this?
They couldn't do it, man. They couldn't make a convincing suit. There was no fucking way, dude. It would have looked like, it would have looked like red medieval armor, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
It would never have fucking worked. Ever. So, yeah. Detective sucks.
Yeah, I feel like this...
I'm not being entertained by it.
No, I give you that. I'm not defending this book. Like, I didn't enjoy this issue. I feel like it could improve. Like, this team seems to have a better idea of what I want in Detective than what was happening previously.
That's a good point. Okay, I will concede that. Absolutely.
I'm not saying, like, oh, run out and buy this, you'll have a great time. No, there's a giant goddamn squid. It's exactly what I don't want. But
sometimes squid is acceptable.
Calamari is one thing. This is something entirely different.
And they're nowhere near the ocean. They weren't actually near the harbor. Where did that fucking thing come from?
At least there's not a freaking whale in a bank or a chick with a hole drilled through her head.
What was her name? The blank.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck you very much there, Mr. Morrison.
Wind tunnel hole.
Wind tunnel. Secret Origins bored me to just flat. I didn't even hate it. It was a slog to get through because I don't give a crap.
No, the slight improvement of Secret Origins is that they hit on Mera, a character who is not, well, although we don't read Aquaman, but whose origin hasn't been poured all over fucking hell and beyond.
Yeah, that's true.
On the other hand, they also have in it the Red Hood, whose origin doesn't make a lick of sense anymore. And they have Cyborg, who literally, their staple book was Justice League, and they covered his entire origin in that.
Yes, there was no need to repeat this 2.5 years ago, but whatever.
Is it really that long?
Well, this is 35, right? 34? So that's almost 3 full years.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Wow, yeah, that's... Woof!
But yeah, I mean, literally, if you paid any attention to DC, you know Cyborg's origin. Like,
sure.
They're not doing anything well with this book, and the stories aren't better. They're not done differently.
Yep. The Hulk's just kind of transformed behind this.
That guy just crapped himself. I'm sorry. Like, if you turn around and the Hulk is behind you... Wow, they didn't even really catch that actor. They just sort of threw him and let him land on cement.
And have you noticed, I remember some of these episodes very well, and the majority of what he did was chuck things. And that guy tripped over that fountain because it wasn't even there. He just... there was nothing to trip on there.
You have to figure, like, Lou Ferrigno...
Look, he's going to throw him. He's
Yes.
not going to punch him. He's just going to throw him. He's just throwing people everywhere.
Would you trust Lou Ferrigno to pull his punch? No. He's like, no, you're not fucking hitting me. Absolutely not. You big green goon. You absolutely not. You know, first off, he's a pissy dude. Secondly, he's covered in green fucking sparkly paint. Like, now I will pretend to hit you. No, you will fucking not do that. You just pick me up and throw me like every other goddamn actor. I'm going to land on a nice soft cushion and call it a day.
It's true, dude. So many things had to do with him being thrown and nobody wanting to get in the way of his giant ham fists.
Yeah, you have to wonder, like, did Lou Ferrigno have, like, dreams? Like, did he go to bed thinking of playing Hamlet? Like, you know.
That's my line. I'm the one that's constantly pulling out that question. Except I usually do it in the context of the adults in Disney Channel sitcoms.
Oh, that's true. Oh, Hulk has met dog. Hulk like dog. Hulk not throw dog as far.
My Pericles was the toast of Omaha. And now I'm Mr. Owings, the understanding principal.
Omaha does have excellent toast.
They do. They go home, they sit in the tub, they draw up a hot bath, they open a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue and stare at a straight razor for a couple hours.
I assume most of them we won't even let that shit in the house. Like, no, get that out of here. I shave with a wet napkin. It's safer.
That's how I imagine the parents and adults in Disney sitcoms. Yeah, but I don't care about Red Hood.
No, well, I mean, I was a little curious into the origin because I remember I still own the first issue of Red Hood and the Outlaws because we had liked something else Scott Lobdell had done with that character. And
did we?
We bought it for a reason. And we read it and we're like, no, this is awful. But, like, it was to me, it was the perfect example of everything wrong with the New 52. Like, you took characters and just sort of threw them out there, and then you referenced Teen Titans, although in the 5-year history that somehow exists, nothing that could have happened was possible. And they're referencing Vic, who's actually occurring in another book.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah, they got no consistency in that.
So, to me, Red Hood was everything. If you want to know why the New 52 doesn't work, honestly, Red Hood and the Outlaw is number one. Horror-core-y, freaking, just a terrible, terrible book.
Right, but it ain't this book. It's just Red Hood. Red Hood has never concerned me or interested me as a character. Sometimes he tries to work with and understand.
That's not true at all.
And deal with Batman is the sentence. There's been a couple of times where
you loved Hush.
No, I mean in the New 52.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, you loved Hush, and you really of the Batman animated movies behind the Red Hood, it was actually one of the better ones.
Yeah, that was one of the good ones. But I also Mira's story in this was the most solid, but it was also the most mediocre.
But yeah, it's my daughter, I am dying to let you have the life that you want to lead. Don't go and revenge yourself. Go and bang Aquaman. Go and be free.
Yeah, pretty much.
What kind of king are you? Like what?
Got me, man. He is a kooky king. King Kooky. That was lame.
Ugh, King Kooky is awful.
No, saying King Kooky was lame.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Repeating it is even lamer, so stop making me say it.
I'm mocking you with it.
Oh, I get it. Whatever. Superman 34. So Soups and Ulysses hang out with Ulysses' parents for a little bit. So we learn that he was a wonderful little boy, but something happened that he had to be taken away, and Ulysses doesn't sleep, so he wakes up Clark and he says, let's go fight some bad guys. Which doesn't seem unreasonable to me. I mean, if you weren't sleeping and you knew Superman was around, what would you want to do? Go out and punch shit.
You know what? No. Like, first of all, my parents just showed up.
I'm fine with that.
He's a weird alien bastard, okay? Here's the thing.
He's not an alien bastard. He got taken away into another dimension.
Which makes him an alien bastard.
No, it doesn't. He's human.
You have the same theory about New Englanders. Like, you can't move here and be a New Englander. Like, we've been over this.
Oh, don't get all haughty with me.
But my point being is, like, I don't care. Like, he's got long, flowing blonde hair now. He's super powered. He's all big and whatnot. He's a creepy little bastard at heart.
I don't know. Really? You think?
You do not ever stand over somebody else while they're sleeping, waiting for them to wake up and be like, hey, I want to go do this. No.
All right, well, there's that. Well, I mean, that's pretty much the definition of socially awkward. He doesn't understand that's not a good thing. I don't think he had any intention of, like, molesting Superman.
I don't either. But, you know, he has shown, in the short time that Ulysses has been around and we've been reading Superman again, he has shown a lot of questionable decisions that make you suspect that this guy is not going to be a good guy.
Well, yeah, all right, I guess that's fine. But why do Clark's powers go all wonky?
Probably prolonged exposure to creepy bastards like Ulysses.
Oh, all right. So it's not anything that the Machinist did?
No, the Machinist... the Machinist.
Don't talk bad about Machinist. My pop was a Machinist.
I said the, not a. The Machinist is playing around with different things and trying to create a business model around fucking up superheroes.
Which, you know, as a supervillain thing, is not exactly uncommon.
And I'm kind of excited to see a new villain get thrown out there. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'll take it. as a start.
At least he doesn't have a pig mask.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Thank you very much. I read on Twitter just yesterday that this person couldn't wait for another Professor Pig appearance, and I'm like, are you fucking insane? Have you not read a Bat book that didn't come out before? That came out before 2010. Professor Pig is your pinnacle of a Bat villain. Eat a giant steamy one, you fucking weirdo. So, yeah, they throw a mind control tick on Ulysses. And, of course, they fight till this doof shows up and the robot wolves appear and they beat him down. But, oh no, a civilian, and they got to stop because of that. And
I did like the mind control ticks. Like, first off, everybody hates ticks. Like, that's just, rule one. It's like you're born, you have skin, you don't like ticks. Like, that's how it works. So, making a robotic tick, that's going to tick some people off. Pun intended.
Killing me. So, I mean, it's readable. Johns has some time to go before he really gets a stride going.
It has not been it hasn't been like a slam dunk, like, oh my God, thank God he's on this book.
Yeah.
But we're also coming, it's issue, 35?
Yeah.
We've read 2 of them.
Well, I mean, Johns has only been on it for 2.
But what I'm saying is, it's not like he's taking over a book and storylines that we were reading before this, so we're coming in at
I wanted to come in fresh.
Right. So, I'd like to see where it's going, but I can't honestly been like, oh, John's on Superman is amazing. It hasn't been, but it's not in any way terrible. I'm
he hasn't had time to get really amazing yet.
And I like the fact that, you know what? Aaron killed Thor in 1 issue.
That's true.
Gillen killed Iron Man in 1 issue.
I'm thinking in the context of other things Johns has done.
Fair enough. No, well, Johns is an epic guy and he likes slow builds. I just hope that, I don't end up with a Superman involved in every Green Lantern.
Yeah, I would prefer that we don't have to deal with that many kind of crossovers. There doesn't need to be 17 different colors of Superman. I'm very sensitive right now. Thanks, Cal.
Cyborg, Steel. You got a couple right there. The Eradicator we could bring back.
No more Eradicator. Superboy is back.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you give each of them a different colored costume, there's at least 5.
See, I don't
Captain
like
Carrot.
the idea. Speaking of Captain Carrot,
Super Bilbo.
Let's just no Super Bibos. He's my favorite.
Turtle Boy.
You know what? At this point, I'd pay for a Turtle Boy book. That might actually be some fucking fun.
I can see that.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if it has to be Jimmy Olsen, though.
No, Super Bilbo. Turtle Bilbo.
No Bibos. I will bet you, and I'm 100% serious. I'll shake your hand and everything. I will bet you $50 they don't bring Bibbo back inside 5 more years.
No, I will not touch that. I will laugh if it happens, but I'm not willing to bet.
7 more years.
No, not touching it. You know that would make my life's goal to work for DC, just to write a Superman book with Bibbo in it.
Yeah.
Just to lose you money and piss you off.
For $50, at this point, it would be worth it. I just don't think it'll ever happen. Because, what's the lightest, funnest DC... Put your hat on straight. What's the lightest, funnest DC book out right now?
We don't know because we read so few of them.
Yes, because every time we pick one up, it's not light and it's not fun.
G.I. Zombie?
No. It's probably Harley, but I just don't care about Harley as a character.
I was not connecting much with that book, but it was, lighter and cuter. By the way, Thor, I looked it up.
Yeah? Who is it?
Little John from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh my God! It is, isn't it?
And, ironically enough, he's the dad on the Disney show Good Luck Charlie, or Good Night.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Something about Charlie.
That's hilarious. So, tell me, dude. I had 2 words written down for Multiversity.
Yeah, we talked about the Multiversity last week, sadly.
Yeah, so you want to skip it?
No, I mean, we can go in depth if you want. Like,
you can go in depth. I have blanked it all out.
There's a monkey sidekick. There's a bunch of super powered new
Sidekick to whom?
To this Watcher-esque character. You've got a bunch of variations on Superman, all coming together from different worlds to go on a super mission. You've got people telling you to close the comic, like some sort of bad EC Comics ripoff. I don't care about any of this. I don't find it interesting anymore. I don't hate Grant Morrison. I like considerably more Grant Morrison than you do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we both enjoy
grant you that.
We both like
terrible.
Arkham Asylum, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was a huge Animal Man fan.
Yes, try again.
I love the Animals too, man. House of Rising Sun is a great song, but not really, appropriate for this podcast. I agree with that. I liked the Sebastian O miniseries. I really enjoyed the Mystery Play one shot. There's quite a few.
Yeah, that was great.
Grant Morrison thinks that I liked. I loved
with John J. Moose.
I tried to get you into Aztec and the ridiculousness of that. But at this point, like the things that he finds interesting, he's played out to such a degree, and he's done the same thing again and again.
Yep.
As much as I didn't love him on Batman, at least he was doing new and different things. Like Batman Incorporated, I think is the stupidest goddamn idea in 20 years, but no one has ever done anything like it before.
Yeah, so it had the virtue of never having been tried.
But this just screamed same goddamn thing I've seen before. Like, if you read Grant Morrison's Justice League, you've seen heroes band together and people talking to pages.
Yeah. And, if you read anything prior to 1985, you know about multiple fucking universes.
Yeah, I mean, Animal Man. He did all this in Animal Man. And he's literally, I liked Captain Carrot being used, obviously, because I find that funny. And I was petrified last week that you bought this for me because Captain Carrot is in it, because I don't want it.
I'm not going to make you take it.
Nope, not touching it.
I said you don't have to.
I did not.
Now, the other thing is, on the other side of the coin, I read a sentence that made a mildly straightforward argument that it's been 30 years since they got rid of the multiverse. And maybe it's okay to bring it back now. I mean, it took 50 years to build up to begin with.
They have,
and then they got rid of it for 30 years.
They have brought it back. It's been back.
Not really.
I can prove you wrong in one sentence.
There are small things here and there, but nobody really said this entire book is now happening in another universe.
I can prove you wrong.
Which book?
Earth 2, the book.
No, not in the New 52. I mean, prior to New 52.
Wait, what? Your argument is that they didn't reveal the multiverse till they revamped all of the New 52, and now they're doing it?
Yeah.
But what does that prove?
It doesn't prove anything. I'm saying it. I read the argument that it might not be a bad idea to bring it back now.
But they have brought it back. It's been back for over a year.
Yeah, but we're still talking about whether it's a good idea or not.
Oh, I see. Okay. Your argument is like, oh, they're going to do this. Your argument is, was it a good idea?
Yes.
It's not.
I don't disagree with that.
It is not. First off, the whole concept of Earth 2 is a way to half-ass.
It was a retcon.
It's a half-ass. Let's look at the actual Earth 2 book and the idea, the Huntress and
Power Girl,
which was another universe's version of Batman's daughter or whatever, dumbassness, and
Supergirl.
So you've already retconned everything, and this is exactly the kind of thing they did this to avoid. Is this kind of stupidity?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I'm very pro continuity. You fluctuate depending on your mood. And I think that yours is a healthier attitude, in all honesty. But I like continuity. The thing is, when you put something down on paper, you trap somebody else to that.
Yeah.
At least to a degree.
Right.
They at least have to take the time, if they're any kind of talented writer, to address the stupid shit you forced on a character. Right? Everyone who writes the Punisher going forward
has to have it in their head that at one point he was FRANKENCASTLE.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. It doesn't mean you're going to address it, anything like that, but whoever took the book after that had to be like, okay, you were just FRANKENCASTLE. How the fuck do I deal with that?
And that was Remender, kids. I want you to remember that.
Somebody just throws out the idea, hey, let's make a teenage girl clone of Wolverine. Well, that's a horribly stupid idea. Well, it's your book now, Bob. Well, fuck. Okay.
How do I make this a good character?
Yeah, her claws come out when she PMSs. Like, I don't know. Like, you create something dumb and you leave. It's not like these things are your own book. You're creating everything in this bubble, and everything in the bubble is required to be dealt with to some degree. Now, DC is basically just pissed all over continuity and set it on fire.
Yeah.
And to their credit,
totally
like,
true.
Restarting has viable options, and I defended it. If you think back,
yeah, I remember. I don't
for it, but
you don't have to remind me.
I acknowledge at least the possibility of it. But if they were going to do that, they should have thought these things through and resolved where everybody was coming from. And they didn't do that. They're like, oh, just dive right in. We'll figure it out later. Well, that's fucking dumb and lazy, and historically has proven not to work.
Yep.
And the strands between everything are so poor at this point.
Blake has to yell, Odin! to get Thor out of the fucking way.
So bad. But yeah, like, DC has just fucked over so many little issues. Is the multiverse a terrible idea? Yes, it really is. Is the idea of other universes okay? Yes. However, when you have books set in them, when you have an entire alternate version, Alan Scott's the Green Lantern here, but that's okay because it's an alternate version of the Green Lantern who's on Earth, except he's not on Earth, he's in the middle of back-ass nowhere. Bah! Does Alan Scott have to deal with a red wood-fearing lantern as well, and a yellow one, and like?
Yeah, he does.
Do you know that for sure?
It's worth a guess.
You don't know squat.
No, I don't know.
He's probably just fighting Solomon Grundy every week. We don't know.
Alan Scott, does he even exist in the New 52?
Yeah, he's in the alternate. He's the Earth 2 Green Lantern.
I don't remember that shit.
But, and therein lies the problem: is these things become convoluted, and as they become more convoluted, people go to greater weird lengths to work around them.
Which is what brought on the fucking crisis,
right? And the problem is that now you have a much smarter fan, and that not in the sense of more intelligent, but smarter in like a wrestling sense, more aware of how these things work, more aware of what's a work.
He said smarter in a wrestling sense.
Well, smart fans in wrestling are people who are familiar with the base concept behind things. Like, oh, the heel cheats because he's the heel, as opposed to, I hate that guy, I want him to die. I'm going to throw batteries at him when he walks by. Like, that's a dumb fan.
Batteries?
Yeah, they had a very common problem back in the 60s.
Was it?
Oh,
batteries?
Yeah. Dude, people got stabbed on the way to the ring.
Get the fuck out!
Because the fans were not smart. They thought these people were actually the worst human beings in the world. It's like, you ran over the Rock's mother with a tractor last week. Man, that didn't really happen. Please take this gun away from me. Like, so the wrestling terminology of a smart fan is somebody who has a more understanding of the fact that it is not real and that these are people working together. And there's a reason that you can full-on punch Triple H in the face and he not have a giant fucking bruise and concussion the next day.
Let's not talk about wrestling anymore.
But comic fans have become far smarter to a lot of things. So now you're pulling yet another possibility of a crisis within 5 years' time because it becomes so convoluted. Because people are so wide, and they're doing so many. It's not like these are small stories. There's giant epic scope going on in Batman. There's giant epic scope going on in Green Lantern. Fuck, there's giant epic scope going on in Green Lantern. And so all these things are having massive effects. It's not like, oh, well, I beat up the prankster. Oh, let me go fight Solomon Grundy off in a tree somewhere, Die, Woodard, die! No, like everyone has to have a giant, huge, motherfucking epic where the entire world shakes and people are scared and leaves turn green fucking 3 months too soon. And
holy
God! So DC, nothing small ever happens and none of it is going away. So yeah, I think the multiverse is a terrible, long story short, bad. And you can pause, I'm grabbing a pumpkin beer.
You go ahead. Anyhow. So, it's just... If you want to have a power girl, have a fucking power girl. If you want to have a huntress, have a fucking huntress. I don't understand what benefit is gained by bringing them in from another universe.
No, well, I think the idea is there's simply too many heroes in Metropolis. There's too many heroes in...
Chuck them in
Gotham.
another city. They're especially fucking Gotham. Get them the fuck out of Gotham.
But here's the thing. It's okay, let's get rid of Huntress, but here's Batwing and El Guapo.
Well, Batwing is in Africa,
and
Batwing is in Africa, and El Guapo is in Brazil anyway. So those don't count on your
where's the
theory.
cow?
Which Bat cow? Illinois, for God's sake.
Is it really?
I have no idea. It's your fucking Kansas. What do I know about fucking bat cows there?
Dude, you know everything about all Batman. I assume you have the complete Bat
No,
cow.
dude,
Part of me believes that you buy Bat Incorporated and all these other books that I've just never seen that you're like, no, I just won't tell them.
There are books that I buy that I don't bother bringing to you. Those are not any of them.
The Antics of Bat Cow.
Like, I totally forgot that at the very last second, I bought the first issue of Aliens, Fire and Stone.
Really?
And it turned out to be not that bad. I could go ahead and get a trade of that later.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's strictly good enough to hunt down issues as they come. At any rate,
if you go to a shop, you'll pick them up. If you don't go to a shop, you're not going to worry about it.
Yeah. But, like I said, get them out of the cities they're in. There shouldn't be any fucking crime in Gotham at all. There should not exist anyone breaking the law in Gotham at this point.
Who's in Gotham? You've got Batman.
Yep.
Red Robin.
Yep. Regular Robin. Batgirl. Batwoman. Do we actually say Batman yet?
Didn't Batwoman move to a different town? Isn't she in one of the suburbs, in Nightwing there?
What, like Bloodhaven?
Yeah, some dumbass.
I
think
think
she's
so,
got her
because
own crappy.
Well, you might have by now. I don't remember.
Like the Newark of Gotham.
Yeah.
What was the name? Was it Bloodhaven? Is that where Nightwing?
Yeah, that's where he went. Yeah.
B-L-U-D Haven.
Yes,
It's got its own dark history.
That was the 90s, man. If you didn't have blood in it, you had dark in it. And that was the way names went.
Razor, unnecessary X's.
Why is Thor shying away from this jackass with a metal rod trying to smack him?
You know what? They probably wrote it so he didn't, but the actor's like, look, man, I'm playing Thor, but that still looks like a heavy goddamn pipe. And
the Hulk just smacked two motherfuckers standing right next to him, scaring him with a goddamn girder. After breaking another guy's sternum with the same... breaking a guy's sternum with the same girder. That amuses me terribly.
Dude, I believe one of the gang guys is Tim Thomerson from that... what was those damn movies? Jack Trancer, that awful
Trancers?
Doll Man.
That was a Peter David joint.
Is it really?
No, Trancers was.
Oh. I think it's him.
Anyway, why don't we talk about Sensation Comics, which, oh my God, has its first story happening in Gotham.
Yeah, that was hard. If you're going to revamp Wonder Woman, throw in a couple short stories to show different aspects of her characters. Not my favorite, but, you know, if you're going to build it up slowly, so be it.
But you know what? There was a couple of nice character moments in there that really reminded me of some Spidey stuff.
I thought that they had a good handle on the Wonder Woman character, the difference between the warrior and the caregiver, for lack of a better term.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is a very challenging character. There are certain characters. I remember quite a few years ago, I was talking with some of our crew back in the day. Brett was one of them. They're like, you know, talking about, like, dude, these books should be easy. I'm like, dude, I would not write Thor. Fucking Thor is impossible. Like, you have to not only deal with the Marvel superhero aspect, but also the mythological aspect. Like, there's a reason that most Thor books are awful. Because it's just too goddamn much. Like, and then you got to put thou and oth in there all the damn time. Wonder Woman is a really challenging book, and there's a reason people do it badly so often. Because you've got not only the female hero.
Well, it's got to be daunting to begin with.
She is the icon. Like, if you like Superman, if you like Batman, or if you like Iron, like, there's a lot of male heroes that are at least arguably on the same page. Like, you have to make the argument based on time that Superman and Batman are the pinnacle of that. But at the same time, the Marvel guys are so huge, and Captain America, like, there's a lot of guys you can put in the upper echelon there. There's one female hero. That's it. Yeah. You can make all the Captain Marvel arguments that you like. They don't freaking hold water. Not on the same page. So Wonder Woman is hard. Then you've got one of the most convoluted, confusing backstories about 2 bajillion side characters that different people have thrown in.
How is being made out of clay and given life by the gods that complex?
Dude, the level, again, the different things that different people have done and twisted this way and that. Like, I think there's at least 3 different storylines where they prove that she's not actually made of clay, and then she is again.
Well, yeah, there's that. Which is why they should put it in Secret Origins and codify it once and for all.
That would actually be helpful.
Yeah.
You know, which is why they won't do it. It's like, no.
There's that.
We can't do an origin that's actually useful to people. What are you, insane? Let's do another Robin one. I know we did in the first issue.
What happens if Jeff John wants a character, man? He's got to have to rework her into a bitch for 16 issues while she figures out that she needs to be a good guy.
Keith Giffen has this idea that she was the clay was mixed with frog DNA and she jumps really high. Like,
that sounds like a very Giffen thing. That totally sounds. And I would read that book.
No, you would not.
Fuck yeah,
you would make me read it, and you'd be like, I didn't even touch it. Was it good?
No, I'd read a Giffen book. Come on, get the fuck out.
Hey, I have that Giffen Captain Fury and the Howling Commandos, the monster team upstairs. If you'd like to read that one.
Eventually, sure. I mean,
you lie like a...
Sounds good, as long as it ain't like the crew creatures or whatever the fuck they're called.
That's exactly what it was.
The creature commandos.
Yeah.
That's not what you said.
That's what he wrote.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, give me creature commandos, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm reading Asimov now. I can rinse my palate with quality shit afterwards.
No, I like the backup story where she gives the kid a piece of her lasso, which of course would never, ever happen, ever.
No, I don't know that it wouldn't. No, I think you're being a little too strident on that.
No, let me whittle this magical freaking gift from the gods down to give this random fat kid a piece. Yeah, no.
I don't have a problem believing Diana would do that.
Really, you know.
Nope, I don't.
If you broke the lasso, like, most people do not cut pieces off gifts from the gods to see if they keep working.
It's fucking magic, man. It doesn't matter.
No, it totally does.
For all we know, it would rebuild itself next week.
Fair enough. But there's at least also the possibility that it would totally stop working. Because how many magic things do people take, let me separate this from the sheath. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. These things happen all the time.
Yeah, but as long as it's internally consistent with the rest of the story or my Lou, then who gives a shit? If it doesn't break the next issue, then we should assume it was never going to break.
Nah, fair enough.
Now, in a story where we're actually told, you better make sure this fucker stays intact, then yeah, her breaking off a hunk is like breaking a Kit Kat bar. It's never coming back.
Okay, fair enough. I see your point, but I like the fact that she's, pro this kid and...
Yeah.
Like the Joe Namath moment. Like, well, I'm a celebrity.
That's what I was saying, the Spidey moment.
Yeah, that part was nice. I did think, all right, throw him a T-shirt. Don't give him a magic fucking tool that can allow him to do all sorts of things and probably get him shot and stolen by a mob member somewhere.
Thor is jogging on the beach with a dog in leather pants and no shirt, staring at a chick in a French bikini.
Oh, now he's chasing after her.
Yep, which is, just kind of his thing. It amuses me. While Don Blake sits on a stationary cycle, talking with Bruce Banner in a cable knit sweater, having a coffee.
Dude, why are they on the beach and they're all wearing sweaters and long sleeves? Like, do they not understand how beaches work?
Well, it's probably early in the morning because of the running and the exercising on the bike. And you see there's a bit of a breeze.
Oh, yeah, because you would totally exercise in that shirt. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up.
He's wearing sweats anyway. I mean,
I think that's just 70s pants, bro.
80s.
No, that's a good point. No, Don Blake is probably still wearing 70s pants.
Yeah, well, that's true, too. It amuses and horrifies me that he has to hold Mjolnir and scream Odin to get Thor to appear or disappear. It's just... So, yeah, I felt Sensation Comics was okay enough.
It was, it was an interesting start. I do feel... Like, first off, it just irked me that Wonder Woman was fighting more classic Batman villains than have been in Batman.
Yeah.
And yet another Man-Bat reference just to get that in there. But then the weird psychological aspect, like she's seeing them for the sad victims that they are and like trying to heal them through punches.
That was a bit odd.
I like the aspect of the character because it's easy to make Wonder Woman, I'm the warrior woman. It's been done 1,000 times. But at her core and at her best storylines, Wonder Woman is somebody who thinks and cares about people even when she's punching them.
Yeah.
So obviously they have that take on the character, so that's interesting. But it wasn't, again, a slam dunk. And DC really needs some goddamn slam dunks. Like, some baskets need to be fucking landing here soon.
I don't know. Reading Twitter, I'm thinking that we're like 2 of 8 people that feel the way we do.
I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand how this is popular. I just don't get it.
Well, see, the thing is, we have things like Sinestro, number 5.
Sinestro is amazing.
Yes. So they finally decided that they're going to let Sinestro and Hal finally have it out. So for 12 pages, they beat the piss out of each other.
This all comes down to one thing. You can read your little... Sinestro makes Parallax his bitch, and Hal's jaw drops. It's like, no, I'm sorry. I beat Parallax through sheer willpower, Hal. Oh, like you make things come out of your ring? Remember that demon that ran you around like a fucking leather suit?
Watch
He's my
this.
cowboy. Like, Sinestro's the best thing ever. Like, this book is my one shining hope in DC. It's the only DC book that I buy. It's one of the few that you're continuing to buy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't... If this can keep going like this, I don't see a reason to give this up. Absolutely not. And who runs it? Cullen fucking Bunn, folks.
So good.
Yeah, no, that is the whole fucking issue right there. That's exactly it.
You have your awesome Sinestro Hal. We could have been buddies, but I just wanted to hate you so much more. And I'm cool with that. Like, that's your classic Sinestro Hal relationship. But make it, just because Hal is so self-righteous. And one of the cool things that DC has done, and this is a lot, John's, is that they made Hal pertinent again, but they haven't forgotten the fact that he's kind of an arrogant douche.
Oh, no, totally.
And many heroes are, but Hal really kind of brings it to a special level.
He makes it clear, and he's unapologetic about it, and he really doesn't reflect a lot on it.
No, I'm not even sure he's entirely aware of how annoying he is.
No, and that's that level.
So I love that aspect of it because so often, your hero is a dick, and everybody's like, "Well, he's good." Hal is way closer to freaking Guy Gardner in the '80s than he is or '90s. So I love that. And Sinestro just calls him on his shit. And
he's just not as crude or as abrasive.
Sinestro is awful, but he knows it. And he embraces the parts of himself that are awful and the parts of himself that aren't equally. Hal pretends that he's awesome. So that's just cool.
True.
But yeah, when Parallax gets slapped around like a baby harp seal, like, phenomenal.
Now, is there another disc to this, or is this one of those
I believe it's on the other side, but we're actually going with...
Oh, you're going to put in Howard?
Oh, yeah. It's duck time.
Well, hurry up and put in Howard while I summarize G.I. Zombie 2, and then we'll get your crazy, ranty feelings about it. What happens here is the zombie, which... Did they even give him a name? I skipped right over it because I was so, like, what? The zombie and the Fed, whoever the hell she is, they are infiltrating the compound of the white trash guys. Which I was like, really? What are you, constitutional extremists? Is that what you're going to call yourselves? Who seem to be making some kind of biological weapon. Did I get that right? The biological weapon deal. They're trying to get what appears to be a biological weapon. As a group wanting to overthrow the government, which is what these guys do, these trashy people with fucking hick / redneck / fucking so far to the right they're way back on the fucking left again. But they have cruise missiles, so it's okay. What? I just don't care about this book.
No, the bikers have way more depth, and that's fine. Like, that's not uncommon. You know, I've seen Sons of Anarchy. Bikers can have all sorts of evil personalities now. You know what really irked me the absolute most is the female agent in this. And let me explain what I mean by that, because I don't think they've done like a terrible job with her character or anything.
Yeah.
Like, they've given her this weird zombie partner, and she hasn't seen him eat anybody yet, but she obviously knows, you know, she watched his hand reform on his friggin' arm, which, again, not how zombies work. But here's my point, is they make a point of talking about being a PTSD. So, this is her
having
coping.
PSTD.
The agent.
Oh, did she?
Yes, they talk about it. And I'm like, so your idea of helping her cope is giving her this mission with a zombie.
No.
Like,
I mean, you're just begging for more trauma right there.
Like, exactly. Like, that's so lazy and, like, just don't put an element in there. Like, let's give her depth by giving her this horrifying thing and then teaming her with the thing that would most damage her further.
It doesn't really fit. There's not a whole lot of logic there. And I'm tired of people telling me not to look for logic in fucking superhero books.
No, but you know what? Like, you cannot, and this is something we talk about all the time, you cannot read comics without suspension of disbelief. If you can't accept certain non-truths, like there isn't an entire dimension of duck people, people don't fly, mutants get a fucking prehensile tail or an extra finger or toe, they don't freaking turn out to be super hot psychics with laser powers. No, like, you have to have suspension of disbelief. But there's just a basic logic that has to occur for a story to be good.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to take something important and...
I love that picture. I would, if that poster, Breeders of the Lost Stork, still existed, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I would totally have that up on my wall.
And
Commodore Wife would totally take it
every
down.
day for it.
But if you're going to do things like that and take a pertinent and important issue and then just glaringly ignore anything about it, I'm going to call that out. Like, I don't think that that's being nitpicky. I think that that's bad writing.
And I can't debate that at all. Because it's like, well, she has to have a character trait, so roll the 20-sided and consult the table.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like, oh, she's got this, blah, 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 deal.
And you know, they're not checking the random tables later for, like, breakdowns.
It is very similar to a role playing. It's like, well, these are the you get extra points if you take these difficulties, and then if you have a crappy DM and you don't play them, you get away with it.
Yeah,
but
that's what's happening in this issue.
Yeah, so
that's exactly it.
There's nothing about this book I like outside of the cover, and you know we're trying to be less negative in a sense, from the positives fandom, but this is just not good. I don't care about the zombie character. I think that regardless if the father punched the wife, having a kid watch her dad get eaten by a monster is probably bad.
Yep.
So, like,
he did not help that kid in any real long-term sense.
Oh, look at that. Steve Gerber got huge credits on this. That's nice to see.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that there's real fucking writing rules. And it's not, you're not safe from them because you're in comics. Like, you should be held to the same standard and everything.
Oh, no. Play duck. Terrible.
I had totally forgotten that.
Does that duck have nipples in between her feathers?
Yeah, I think that's what I saw. Sadly.
Wow. Let's go on to whatever the next book is. Because I think we played out the GI Zombie card a little much now.
Wasn't hard.
It's not on the list for next month. Batman 34. Now, I saw a little promise. More duck nipples, which is just weird. There's a serial killer running around working in obscurity in Gotham's Potter's Field. And I guess I've read this several times over the last couple of months. I didn't realize that, the poor person's graveyard is so commonly referred to as a Potter's Field. Is that something you knew?
I've heard the term Potter's Field before. I didn't know it was a common term. I thought it was specific.
Well, I've seen it more and more lately, and then I've seen it in things past. Like I always thought it was just a reference to a slummy kind of thing, like from It's a Wonderful Life.
No,
Potter's Field, sir, is becoming just that.
Graveyard. I didn't know. I knew it was a graveyard. I didn't know it was like a universal term.
Well, I mean, I've seen it like 5 times in literature this year. I'm like, really? Is that what? Damn. Like, okay.
This was a huge. Like, I really thought that this was a big step forward for Batman.
Yes.
It's a one-issue story that works. It's. I love Batman versus the Meek, the serial killer who figures he's so small that he doesn't
Nobody
matter,
will notice,
and he can just dump bodies in the graves he's digging.
And it did work for a while until he decided that Leslie Tompkins' patients were his next targets, because she's going to notice that shit and tell Brucey.
Well, I thought that was a huge, that was the one little hitch in the story. It's like suddenly he's been doing this for years, but suddenly he decides to hitch his friggin' wagon to this one psychiatrist and all of her
Well, I mean, Tompkins specialized in treating the poor and destitute and disadvantaged, and that's where he was targeting his murders.
Right, but here's my takeaway from that.
Crosses over a bit.
Yeah, because he's been finding them for years. Suddenly he's having a hard time. Let me go work with this psychologist who's no.
It is questionable, but you got to figure if you're going to have Batman deal with him, you got to have a reason for him to notice him now.
But
and maybe if he wasn't busy saving the entire goddamn city from some jackass with stupid puns, or some jackass with a owl mask every fucking 3 pages, he'd have noticed this serial killer was out there doing shit.
No, I thought this was a great step forward. It was clean writing, and I thought it showed a really good grasp on the Batman character. The fact that he had to stay and watch everybody getting dug up isn't classically Batman. But I thought it showed, Snyder's working on the depth of the character.
Sure.
Most of the time, no, Batman does not sit there and watch people get dug up. He leaves because he has other stuff to do. But if you're trying to build a higher emotional quotient in the character, which has been lacking in the New 52,
then this would be a good step for it.
So, I mean, of all the Batman stories you've read in the New 52, this has to be one of the highlights.
It really is.
This is, you could see this with Jim Aparo. You could see this with Neil Adams' art. You could see this in a lot of different eras of Batman.
Oh, sure. Yeah, anywhere. You can see it from the 70s up. Absolutely. And you can say what you want.
Leah Thompson
So what
was
if
pretty
this
hot.
is... Well, that too.
Oh, I thought that's where you're going.
He runs weird. What's wrong with his legs?
He's a duck.
Okay, that's not really a waddle, though.
He's got webbed feet, however.
What was I even trying to say?
I don't know. You could say what you want. I thought you were talking about Leah Thompson, and you're like, no, and then you never actually said what you were going to say.
I lost it. It doesn't matter. So in Bodies 2, because we've made our hour, so it's time to wrap this shit up. We got some Vertigo books that might actually give us something to deal with here.
Well, Bodies is not one of them.
Bodies is not one of them. This thing makes even less sense than the first one did, and I thought the first one made just enough sense to make me decide to find out what else might happen. The 2014 detectives may start an affair, fine, but who cares? The 1890 detective has some unidentifiable fetish that I'm not certain I get or want to get.
Oh, he's
Don't do it.
gay, so he pretends that the female unattractive hooker is a man.
Okay. I didn't even want to talk about it, really.
I didn't get any kind of bad details, but like, it's.
The 1940 has to eat some anti-Semite shit during the Blitz, which of all times, really, the Blitz, he's still got to eat shit about being
Well, he's
Jewish.
also a murderer. Let's not skip that aspect.
Well, that's why I have you. And the 2040 detectives,
I can't even talk
I don't
about
even
them.
know. I read it twice. I still didn't get what the fuck was going on with them.
Like the whole word thing, just like, oh, I don't know. I'm a detective, but I can't define the word ball. Like,
No. That literally does not make sense. You can couch it any way you want and say it's art, it's literary, it's, of course you don't get it, it's higher than your fucking intellectual level. No, it's all horseshit. It doesn't make sense. And it's not even in order. Where was the 2040 detectives?
they jump all over the place. They've been in the 2 issues we've seen. They've shown up in different spots. So,
oh yeah, there was some bizarro fucking.
was there a girl coming back from the dead, or like the suggestion of that? It was
Yeah,
very
it's
strange.
so unclear, and there's psychotropic blood on a body somewhere. I don't. It's so weird. So weird.
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it at all. And they better start wrapping shit up already. And I know it's that.
Thing is, like,
Tying shit. I said.
no,
should
you know
say
what?
Tying shit up.
We come across as so cynical, and I feel bad about that. But I don't have to spend. What is an average comic now? $3.
Usually $3.99.
So $4. So 8 times 4. I don't want to spend $32 to find out if I like something.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be yeah, you deserve more than 2 issues to get going, but I should at least be intrigued with where you're going by the 2nd issue.
Yes.
And so far, like, other than the gimmick of 4 different eras,
There's nothing at all.
and not once. No, the 2014 storyline with the.
The 2 detectives that may or may not be starting an affair.
Right, and her arabesque background and whatnot. So there's a kind of cool, like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not drawing me to this book.
No, it's the best of the 4 eras.
Right. Like, the Victorian era I've seen done better in From Hell and a dozen other things.
Yeah.
Including River Street and Copper.
And New Dead Guardians.
And,
I love
quite
that one.
honestly,
That was such a great book.
Moriarty Lives, Sherlock Holmes versus the Undead. Like,
Yeah, he has. It's so far Spencer has not in these 2 issues given us any reason we should care about any of these people. He hasn't given us a real reason to understand their own motives. I don't.
nor have they delved into the mystery or why the same body is showing up 4 times.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no indication whether it might be magic, whether it might be science, whether it might be
quack foo.
barely soup. Right. No, not quack foo. There was that. What?
Come on, Howard the Duck is a master of
Quack Fu.
fu.
Yeah, I
you
know
don't
that. That's not nothing to do with this book.
You can't know that.
I can. I really can.
I speak out against Quack Fu, a short poem by the Tech Jedi.
I'm going to write that when I get home. So, Unwritten 8, for some bizarro reason, still has Tommy eating shit from everybody else, even though the ogre's gone. They know he didn't rape the poor girl.
Well, they don't. That's the thing. They ought to know, and they don't.
They should.
And it really takes me out of this book. It's like, dude, nothing in your worlds makes a lick of sense. Things change on the drop of a hat. Like, why are you so quick to believe that this guy is the biggest of all douchebags?
Right.
Like, he's never done anything remote to this, but he must have raped this girl. Like,
yeah, it's utterly inconsistent with the rest of the stuff we've read.
And it really drew me away from it. I kept going back to it. Like, you're dumb. You're just dumb. So he goes in.
He does his penance, though, so he is able to get into the chapel.
Well, he's able to get in the chapel because he didn't do a goddamn thing wrong in that scenario.
Well, yeah, but he still did the penance anyway.
Well, I'm sure he did
that's what
plenty
the
other
story
things,
demands. Yeah. And by the story, I don't mean this story. I mean the story Mylou there stuck in.
Yep.
Because that's what Unwritten does. The witch deals with Pullman for the trumpet, which is like, okay, they both get what you want, but what do you really want? Like, Tommy makes the right decision for the Grail, thankfully. But he gets stabbed anyhow. They use the Grail to heal him, because that's what you do.
No, it's true. What really, like, first off, the witch and Pullman both know better than to trust each other. They're going to team up? Like, no, they're not.
Of course not. But this deal seems to look like they're going to... Holy shit, can she get any scrawnier? Dude, seriously, she's like nothing. Maybe it's the aspect ratio? I don't know, but she looks awful, like heroin skinny. Or like Chris Bacalo skinny. Sorry about that. So the Grail turns into pen and ink so that Dad can get them out of the whole situation.
Well, they lose the trumpet. They've of the 3 weapons they could have had, they lost 2. So the pen and ink is the final possible weapon.
Right.
And it's for Tommy's father.
Yeah. It's for Tommy's father.
Well,
period. You had a dash in there, maybe.
Here's the thing. It's like, from a quest standpoint, do you really want your one super powerful weapon to be in the hand of the one character that nobody likes or trusts, including his own son?
Well, from my viewpoint, there are indications that he really does know what needs to happen, and he does know how to execute it.
But his plans often involve the random sacrifice of other characters. Like, wouldn't you feel kind of like, all right, if there was, if you take our group of friends,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, we have one superpowered weapon. Okay, the Rev doesn't get it. The Tech Jedi doesn't get it. Dan the Man doesn't get it. Jay doesn't get it. Ken, you carry that. That'll be safe for everyone. You see where I'm going here? Like, how do you feel good when the character that you most want to hit with a brick
is the one that gets the all-powerful weapon?
Yeah, usually you give the steadier guy the bazooka, not the tweaker.
Dalton gets the nuclear football.
Exactly.
Not Brett.
Mikey, you get a bow and arrow. Figure it out.
No, but this is well worth reading. I mean, except for that one weird inconsistency.
No, and it was a small... It was just the book is so well written that it stuck out, I suppose, is my problem.
Yeah.
Because other books, I'd be like, all right, fine, you're idiots. But this book is so consistently in character and follows detail and things like that I was like, no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But I suppose you could even make an argument for it. It suddenly occurs to me, because so often in these Arthurian romances, you had characters willing to believe the worst of people. So maybe they're going deeper into that, and they're like, okay, this is not what the character would do, but what happens in this story.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the library book sale. That reminds me, Arthurian romance. I finally got me a copy of Once and Future King.
You still haven't read that?
Nope.
I really am shocked by that.
Well, I didn't even know. I can't catch everything, dude. And I didn't even know it existed till about a decade ago.
You ever saw A Sword in the Stone?
The Disney movie. Why would I know that was for that?
Well, it's in the credits.
Who stuck around in the credits? Of course you did. As soon as it says the end, I'm off.
That's not true. Marvel movies have proven.
Marvel movies.
You sit all the time in case there's something hidden at the end. Don't even hand me that.
Since 2000, sure. Sword in the Stone was 78.
I have no idea, but you're probably right based on your weird.
Why don't we finish off with Astro City 14?
I really like this one. You've got this minor character who becomes obsessed with broken robots and rebuilding them. And then you have the most, probably of all Astro Cities, the most obvious storyline ever, which is that her nephew is going to fucking use them for evil.
Right.
Because he's a yuppie douchebag.
Well, maybe he's going to use them for evil, and maybe he's
oh my god, there's a duck's penis-sized condom. Oh my lord.
In his wallet. Unwrapped. That seems unhygienic to me.
Well, he's a duck.
Well, there's that. Did you see, though, United States of Antidae? That really amused me, because I was just figuring it would say, like, mallardom or something.
There's some clever things thus far. It's just unfortunate that the movie
Blooming
doesn't actually
Ducks
work.
is a little too simple for the credit card, though.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of ducks out there. You can only fit so many. Yeah, so I really like when Astro City veers into quieter areas.
Yeah.
I feel like Busiek is such a talented writer. But, like, yeah, I will say the yuppie is going to use your robots to commit crimes, which is the most painfully obvious thing ever.
I think he's going to sell them back to other goons, though. That's what I think.
So you think he's been selling them to criminals as
Yeah,
opposed to doing it himself? See, I don't know, because he was buying her the car and whatnot. I think it's probably him. I'm hoping that it ventures somewhere else, though, because I don't want to start predicting these things.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because for the most part, I have not been able to. Not every storyline.
Busiek loves to say, look, this is what I'm going to make it appear to be. And instead of going, ha, it's the opposite, shocked you, he goes, no, it's really this.
But see, the cool thing about most Astro City, and most, like, in terms of what Kurt Busiek is doing, is that most of the time you don't even know where he's going.
Yep.
Like, if you think about the larger storylines, you don't know. As a perfect example, when Jack in the Box had that, I think, 3-issue storyline about his future selves showing up.
Yeah.
And there was the psychotic one and the half cyborg one.
Which I just reread because I got from the...
the graphic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Book Barn.
And then the sad one. But anyway, and so it ends up with him retiring and training somebody else to do the job so he can keep working but not put himself at risk.
Right.
Like, that's not the standard storyline.
No, it would have been a knockdown drag out with the 3 assholes.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert. For a book that came out 10 years ago. Like, if you all want to bitch, go away. But anyway, it's cool that, like, you don't see that coming. Like, that's your Jack in the Box is your classic Spider-Man character, but Spider-Man's never been like, I'm just going to train somebody else to do my job so I can be home with Mary Jane.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good stuff. I want to see what happens.
Oh, God,
next.
it's Tim Robbins.
Yeah, you didn't remember that, did you?
No, I did not.
Tim Robbins, leftist extraordinaire, is the goofball scientist in Howard the Duck, attempting to communicate with Howard by sounding like Donald Duck, which I've never been able to.
No, I can't do
recreate.
that one at all.
You got to be super talented to sound like fucking Donald.
I think Dennis can do it.
I'll bet he can. Daffy, though? Daffy's easy. You just scream a lot.
You have to have a small lisp, not a full Sylvester, but a little, wow, we've totally veered. The great thing about Astro City is that so often you don't see what's coming, and you don't see what's coming it's really good writing when you're not expecting it to go one way and it goes somewhere else. Is you don't know what way it's going to go. There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
It's not okay. This is the easy answer, and I'm going to veer. It's like this is in depth enough that you don't know what the correct thing is going to be.
Yeah.
Like even the more recent Winged Victory storyline. Like you knew she wasn't the bad guy, but you didn't know what the concept was going to be behind that.
Exactly.
So. Yeah, I'm hoping that this won't veer into the really simple, but other than that, I really liked it.
I keep nodding like anybody's going to know I'm fucking nodding.
I really, the whole storyline about the slightly superpowered sidekicks thing, Oh,
yeah, the ones that
do makeup and
yeah. I was quite happy with the ones that are like, yeah, we're superpowered and we could fight crime, but we got other things we want to do.
We couldn't fight crime well, and that shit looks dangerous, and I chafe easily. And
you love that chafing thing.
No one loves chafing.
The idea, never mind.
He's like, well, you're right, but you say it a lot, so I'm going for that. And
good night. Give it. Say good night.
Bless you, frackers, and good night.
And away.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.